Hello everyone, you are welcome to another lesson, and today we are going to explain extensively order of adjectives. I believe before now you must have seen some sentences like a beautiful, tall girl. A situation where 2 or 3 adjectives are used to describe a noun. How do we arrange it appropriately? That is what is called order of adjective. As a recap, adjectives are words that modify a noun or a pronoun. In other words, that they describe. When we say modify can appear as a jargon, but a layman word for modify is describe. They describe a person, a place, or a thing in a sentence. Adjectives usually come before the noun. For example, the small dog jumped over the white fence. Small is an adjective that describes the noun dog in that sentence, and white is an adjective that describes the noun fence. So it adds richness to our description of people and of things. Adjective also allow the listener or the reader to paint a mental picture of the person or object that is being described to them. If you hear small dog, big dog, you already paint a picture of, okay, if the dog is small, that is, we are talking about this. If the fence is white, maybe somebody is giving you a description of a place that you have not been before. And the person told you the house is painted white. That's a description. It has given you the mental picture, even without getting there. Think about some adjectives that you know. Some of the most common words are adjectives like good, bad, young, old, big, small. You say, oh, the boy is a good boy. You have a mental picture that you have on your mind. Each of these adjectives serves a purpose by describing different aspects of the noun. Good and bad give an opinion of the noun, while old and young is telling us about the age, and big and small is telling us about the noun size. Now, the good news is that adjectives are relatively simple in English. In some languages, the adjective changes its form depending on whether the noun modifies its singular, plural, feminine, or masculine. Yes, I think in French, the adjective that you use for a boy, a male gender, is different from when you use it for a female gender. It's even different from when you use it for non-living thing. But in the English language, it does not change. There is no complication like that. The same adjective that you use for a boy, you can use it for a female, you can use it for thing. So the adjective remains the same in English. When we speak or write, we don't want to bore our listener or reader with repetitive sentences. Imagine a description like this. He is a tall man. He is an elderly man. He is a young man. This is repetitive. You'll be so bored that you wouldn't want to listen to another word if somebody is talking to you like this. So we have another option in the English language, and that is what is called order of adjective. Since you are using the 3 adjectives, tall, healthy, and young, to describe that man, there is a way that you can write everything, that 3 sentences in one. And that is, he is a tall, healthy, young man. Using more than one adjective in a sentence makes our writing and speech richer and more concise. However, this is also where we have to be careful because our adjectives still have to be in appropriate order. For example, in the description above, which would be correct? Is it tall, healthy, young man or young, healthy, tall man? Definitely the answer is tall, healthy, young man. But we didn't just arrive at this sentence haphazardly. There is a rule to it, and that is what is called order of adjectives. Order of adjective can sometimes be flexible, but most times we use a very specific order. If we don't, the sentence sounds unnatural, as in young, healthy, tall man. So to avoid this, there's another. So please take note of this arrangement. We have opinion. Number 1 is your opinion. Is measurement, shape, condition, age, color, pattern. origin, material, purpose. Now, please take note that it is not possible for you to use 10 adjectives to describe a noun. No, it is never possible in the English language. Don't write like that. In fact, the minimum or maximum you should find is probably 3. That's why it is written here. In fact, it would even be rare to find a sentence that uses more than 3 adjectives. Yes, the maximum you can use and that you will find is 3. So it's either they use opinion, shape, condition, or they use measurement, age, pattern, or they use shape, origin, purpose. Do you understand? So it is not possible for us to use the whole 10. So please take note of that writing tip. When you are writing, do not use a lot of what? A lot of adjectives to describe one noun. Restrict it to maximum of 3. Okay, so we do need to know a little about each type. So what this lesson is going to be, since you already know the arrangement, is that we want to know what kind of adjective falls under opinion, what kind of adjective falls under measurement, what kind of adjective falls under shape, and so on and so forth. So we are going to look in details and we are going to see some example sentences of how 2 or more adjectives are used together. Types of adjectives. Opinion. Adjectives of opinion always come first before any factual description of the noun. Now, let me explain this very well. We have what is called opinion adjective. We have what is called factual adjective. So, opinion adjective is talking about what you feel about a particular noun. If you are talking about tall, tall is not an opinion. Somebody can either be tall or is short. Is a factual adjective. But if you are saying good, that's opinion, because when something is good to you, it may not be good to another person. So I hope you understand the difference between factual adjectives and opinion adjective. So even with this opinion adjective, we still have 2 types of opinion. We have general opinion, which can be used with any kind of noun, whether a person, a thing, a place. Some of the common general opinions are good, bad, lovely, strange, beautiful, nice. These are general opinion, are all those normal adjectives that you know. The second type are specific opinion adjectives. These are adjectives that can only be used with particular types of nouns. Yes, they can only be used with particular types of nouns. For example, we can use people and animals. You can say intelligent, friendly, unfriendly, hardworking. For buildings, comfortable, uncomfortable. For food, flavorful, tasteful, delicious. You cannot say somebody is delicious now. No. Or you cannot say a food is intelligent. No. So if you want to use a general opinion and a specific opinion in the same sentence, please take note, the general opinion should come first. So what they are saying is that in a situation where you have a general opinion and you have a specific opinion, always write the general opinion before the specific opinion. For example, isn't Mary a lovely, intelligent girl? Lovely is a general opinion. Why? What? Intelligent is a specific opinion because it can only be used with people and animals. So you cannot say a building is intelligent. No, you cannot say that. So that is opinion. The next one is measurement. Adjective of measurement tells us the size, height, length, and weight of a person or a thing. Some of the most common types of adjective of measurement include big, small, tiny, huge, enormous, short, tall, long, heavy, light. So if we are to use more than one adjective of measurement in a sentence, because it is possible, we will normally use the adjective that mentions the general size first and the other adjective. For instance, she will say, he is a big, tall man. Big is a general measurement because a person can be big, a house can be big, an animal can be big. Do you understand? But you can say tall. Tall is kind of it's not really general. So that's why we say is a big, tall man, not is a tall, big man. I bought a huge, heavy table for the kitchen. That's correct. Not I bought a heavy, huge table for the kitchen. The next one is adjective of shape. I hope you are getting the order now. Opinion, measurement, shape. Adjective of shape usually describes objects. The most common are round, square, rectangular, triangular, and oval. However, there are many words that describe shapes of objects that we see around, but they are not frequently used. For instance, bent, you can say a bent road, concave, convex, flat, pointy, straight, twisted, symmetrical. So you have to take note of that. The next one is adjective of condition. Adjective of condition tell us whether something is in a good or a bad state. These are generally adjectives that describe a temporary state of a person or a thing. So some common adjectives of physical condition are clean, dirty, wet, dry. They are different from opinion because opinion sometimes is kind of permanent. But this one, we are talking about temporary because something that is clean today might be dirty tomorrow. Something that is wet now might be dry later. Emotions like happy, sad, angry, scared, excited, they are also adjective of what condition. And there are also general states like rich, powerful, shy, or age. Please take note of that. The next one is age. These ones are the ones that are commonly used that you will see around is that opinion, measurement sometimes, age and color. It's very, very important. So let's look at age. Adjectives of age can describe how old a person, place, or thing is. We have to be very careful with adjectives of age because some are used to describe only people, while we also use some to describe only things, and we have few that we can use for both people and things. For instance, for people, young. You cannot say a young cotton. No. Young, youthful, elderly. That's for human being, people. To describe things, new, antique, yeah. To describe both old, an old man, an old house, ancient. So please take note of that. So take note that your age must always come before color, and your measurement and shape will come before age. Color now, adjectives of color. These include primary color, all particular colors that you have, yellow, blue, white, red, etc. But it also include like approximate color. Maybe you have a sentence reddish, yellowish, bluish. Yes, it's part of it. Or even properties of color, such as transparent, translucent, opaque is important. If you use both a color and a property of a color in one sentence, take note. The property should come first and the color after it, immediately before the noun. For instance, a translucent yellow cup. You don't say a yellow translucent cup. Translucent is a property of color, while yellow is the color itself. An opaque blue curtain. I do hope you are getting value from this lesson. If you are, don't forget to like, drop a comment or your question, anything that is confusing in this thing that I'm explaining, in the lesson that I'm explaining. And most importantly, don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel to enjoy more content like this. And this particular lesson, to chip it in, this is one of the topics that English related exams ask that UTME, WAEC or NECO, the questions that test order of adjectives. The next one is pattern. Adjectives of pattern can describe the pattern of materials or even animals. Some of the most common patterns are checkered, polka dot, striped, plaid, flowered. Then we have adjective of origin, that is describing where something comes from. For instance, maybe the country, American, British, Indian, Korean movie. That's an adjective describing movie. Note that when you are writing this adjective of origin, it must always be written in, the first letter must be in capital letter. Adjectives of origin that refers to general region, e.g. eastern or southern, are not what? Capitalized. But the one that is talking about country adjective, make sure you capitalize it. Then we have material. Adjectives of material tell us what something is made of. For example, a wooden table, a plastic chair, a steel railroad track, an earthen pot. That is, the pot is earthen. Now, the next one is purpose. Adjective of purpose tells us what something is for, what is used for. A sleeping bag, a shopping cart. Now, let's put all of this information about different types of adjective together and see some example of how it works when we modify a noun with more than one adjective. Don't forget to bring your new stripped jacket. So this sentence has two adjectives, new and stripped. Why do we know that? How do we know that the answer is supposed to be stripped, is supposed to come after new? New is adjective of age, while stripped is adjective of pattern. Yesterday, my sister gave me a blue wool sweater. So blue is adjective of color and wool is adjective of material. You know, color comes before material. I bought an enormous rectangular Turkish rug. This sentence includes three types of adjective. Enormous is an adjective of measurement. Remember, it will come first. Rectangular is an adjective of shape. And Turkish is an adjective of origin, specifically of a country. And that is why the first letter is capitalized. We use and to link two adjectives of the same type that describes separate parts of an object. For instance, the child was playing with a blue and red plastic robot. That is the blue and red are two different adjectives joined together by and. That is, the child has blue plastic robot. He also has red plastic robot. Sometimes a series of adjectives follow a linking verb. In this case, the last adjective is connected to the previous ones with the word and. For instance, the house is big, white, and wooden. Yes, and wooden. So take note of that. Now, let's look at this exercise. Let's look at these 5 exercises. Number 1, which of the following is an adjective of material? I'll give you 2 seconds. Is it tall, silk, good, straight? The answer is silk, material, what it is made of. Number 2, which of the following is an adjective of measurement? Long, beautiful, intelligent, round. The answer is long. Complete the sentence using the correct adjective order. I bought an old typewriter. What do you think should be the answer? The answer is dirty. Dirty. The next one. Choose the correct adjective order. Is it a big, fantastic old house, an old, big, fantastic house, a fantastic old, big house, a fantastic, big, old house? What is the answer? The correct answer is D. If you go back to our explanation, fantastic is opinion. Then big with the measurement will come before the age, then the noun. A fantastic big old house. Choose the correct adjective order. What is the correct answer? This is simple. The answer is option A. A clean pink polka dot sweater. Polka dot sweater. So we have come to the end of this lesson on order of adjectives. I do hope you got value from this. Remember to drop a comment, drop a like, and also share this video to somebody you think will need it. Secondary school students, professionals that want to improve their English proficiency, and also subscribe to this YouTube channel.